You might think your next-door neighbor is harmless, friendly, even normal. But sometimes, the most terrifying horrors don't come from the woods, or dark alleys. They come from right next door. Tonight, we bring you 3 chilling true neighbor horror stories, real encounters from people who'll never forget what happened to them. I'm Mr. Dread, and these are stories that might just make you reconsider who lives around you. Make sure your lights are on, and stay with me. Because what you're about to hear is real. Everyone wants a peaceful home, but after moving into their first house, this young couple began noticing something unsettling. It started small, shadows flitting across the curtains in the house next door. Just silhouettes. A figure, barely there, always watching. At first, they told themselves it was nothing. Maybe a neighbor, maybe just their imagination. But night after night, the figure returned, silent, still, watching. Then came the footsteps in the backyard. Late at night, crisp and heavy on the wooden deck. When they shouted, the figure vanished, but the gate slammed behind them. The next morning, a knock at the door. A man introducing himself politely. His smile seemed normal, yet, there was something in his eyes. Something that didn't belong. And that night, the couple realized the terrifying truth: some neighbors don't just watch, they wait. And sometimes, they're closer than UT&K. Our next story comes from a quiet suburban street that wasn't so quiet anymore. A family moved into a new house, thinking it was safe. But strange things began happening almost immediately. Doors left unlocked, furniture slightly shifted, and footsteps pacing outside when everyone was asleep. At first, they blamed animals. Maybe a raccoon. Maybe the wind. But one night, a silhouette appeared beyond the fence. They watched from the window, frozen in fear. Someone, or something, was moving carefully, intentionally. The next morning, muddy footprints led from the fence to the back door. Nothing had been stolen. Nothing broken. Yet the violation, the feeling of being watched in their own home, it lingered. The family confronted the neighbors, but the explanation was too casual, too rehearsed. The unease never left. Every night, every creak, every shadow, reminded them that some horrors live closer than you'd ever imagine. Pause, slow, suspenseful Brea. Th. Finally, our third tale begins with a man who seemed almost too friendly. He waved every morning. Brought small gifts. Hosted dinners. Everyone admired him. But behind the friendly gestures, there were unsettling stares, comments that lingered too long, questions that felt like tests. Then the noises began. Knocks, scratches, the creak of someone pacing. Always late at night. Always when no one should have been there. The police checked. No one was inside. No forced entry. Nothing to explain the noises, except maybe, that someone was inside the walls. One night, the victim awoke to a shadow moving across the ceiling. Frozen, heart pounding, the shadow disappeared, but the feeling remained: someone had been there. Someone had been watching. And the terrifying truth? Sometimes, the friendly face hides the darkest secrets, and the safest street isn't always safe. These stories remind us of one terrifying truth. The most disturbing horrors don't lurk in abandoned houses or forests. They live next door, hidden behind polite smiles and waving hands. Have you ever had a neighbor that gave you chills? Share your story in the comments, if you dare. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with me, Mr. Dread, for more true horror every week. Keep your doors locked, keep your lights on, and remember, sometimes, the scariest monsters are closer than you think.